Hello. See, Dave, you're on. Can you hear us?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yep. And we can see and hear you. Amazing. How's it going?
Good.
Good to see you. All right. Okay. Can you see us?
Yes, I can see the full room view, so I can't see people individually because it's too far away, but I can see the room, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I see you waving. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Good. John is going to come in a moment. So I thought, I mean, we can. It's fine for this to be very small, but I want to talk about just like the greasing stuff. And Dave, sorry we took so long to get to your PRs and stuff, but we did merge them and we have published them. So like, let's talk a little bit about status there. I want to talk a bit about scheduling since I'm going to roll off IB and like, we have John and Warren to continue and we can continue sponsoring stuff, but just talk about that. Then separately from the greasing document, did you go to the why not more quick talk? Okay.
Yes.
I think Jonna went to that too. We were interested in getting a debrief from that, and I think there are interesting questions around deployability and stuff, and like, and to some of the things around like what makes a successful protocol, and like when you see people having side meetings of like, how do we get more of this? Just like you have like people like, how do I get more of IPv6? John and I were previously having some philosophical discussions about like, well, why do you want more? And like, really people should be using the thing that is best suited for them. And if there are impediments where people want to use something, but they can't, we should address that. But just having more to get a monoculture is not good.
Just to respond to that one, EDM didn't spring to mind in that session. I deeply apologize.
No,
but we will be getting potentially with the Gender Bash an update from Lars in the quick working group later today.
Oh, okay.
We had Cullen taking notes and we took a few action items at the end.
Okay.
It's an informal side meeting, of course, it means nothing, but there were a few things that maybe some stuff we've talked about in the past, Martin might remember, like to do with how alt service is broken and the state of play with HBS records and stuff like that, that we kind of iced that work at the time, that it wasn't pressing and, maybe it's time to defrost. But yeah, It is related and I'm annoyed I forgot it yesterday.
I still think that alt service B is a good design for alt service, but we haven't had much traction on implementation.
You mean SVCV? Wait, no. Which one are you talking about?
So alt service B basically says, please look up this name and get the service B record from it. So
yeah. Sorry.
So it says
paging it back in.
Yeah. This is available over there as well, but you use the DNS as the source of truth.
Right.
Yeah, and we had a great discussion about that at the HTTP workshop recently, and I think that would possibly help in some of the scenarios where we have complex deployments, but because it's pretty far down people's priority lists, it hasn't really happened.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. So just jumping to looking at the greasing document and status. So yeah. Do you want to fix it? So David given us a bunch of PRs, 6 of them, which were lovely. We merged those in. We have a whole host of different issues that have been opened up. I think the main things in my head that are just like big sections that need more love are, or we need to reduce them and cut them, are things about like, talking about the protocol versions, and then of course like it the security consideration seems anemic, which we have 2 issues for the more of the recent ones.
Just
I guess just from like, I'd love to hear, Lucas, from you and Dave, like, what do you think? Like, how do we get this over the line and share it with the community too? Just be like, hey, let's have more of a discussion with this, like, because I think that's the step we need to take.
Yeah, I'll respond quickly because I don't have much to say. One clarification question, which is just purely the security considerations in like documents made from IAB. Is that a thing? Like, do they?
It's a requirement, as people had to, we've had to remind ourselves that yes, all RFCs need them. I mean, like, workshop reports normally don't have much. But I think this is an area where we're giving some technical guidance.
So it would be specifically considerations of what is in the document, not broad, like, oh, like when you're deploying this random protocol you've probably never heard of, but
no. It's just like, of the things we're giving you advice about, like, what are the security implications of those?
So we have a date. I'll get in queue as well.
Yeah. So I think the side comment, a requirement to have security considerations is a per stream requirement, not an RFC editor requirement. So IAB can decide whether that's a requirement or not. And the fact that workshops don't answers the question that it's actually not a requirement for the IAB stream. However, for this one, I think it did have security considerations. That's why I said it was an aside. And so I agree with the issue. I think we have 15 open issues right now. And might be good to talk about what process do we want to use for merging these going forward. So like Tommy, are you still planning on participating after, next year? Do we have a goal for when we want to have these in there? I'm happy to take some of these and assign them to me, although I'm not going to be expert if they're like quick specific. That probably shouldn't be assigned to me. But if there's things that are generic, then I'm happy to take some of these and come up with pull requests for them now that my other ones have been merged. We also have, I think, one pull request right now that Lucas opened back in July, and I approved. It has some comments on it, but we can say, what is our process for approving? Is our process that we want to see no unresolved comments? Is the process that we want to see 2 approvals? Do we want to see 1 approver and no unresolved comments, or what? It's just right now I don't know the answer, right? And so now I technically have permission to do the merge. Thank you guys, but I'm hesitant to push that button because we haven't talked about what we want the policy to be, and so I wanted to make sure we cover that too today. So.
Yep. Okay, so I guess going through the order of things, like, yes, I'm planning on still participating and coming to these and helping work on docs and et cetera. Like, I think that's one of the beautiful things about a technical program, is that you can have people who are alumni keeping thinking about things. It's great. And new folks who haven't been on the IB who may be in the future, who knows. For the issues, I think we should just assign all of them and just divvy it up. Kind of just grab like a third of what looks attractive to you, and then whoever gets it, first come, first serve. Yeah, please.
To interject, a lot of them are just me brain dumping things that will come across my brain. So I prefer we scrub them and see if we should really work on them or not, and maybe come to some agreement there before someone picks something up because it looks nice and actually maybe we don't agree we want to do anything.
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess one approach that I could also suggest, I think can work at times, is you grab something as, I will think about this, and your decision could be, we close this because it actually doesn't make sense to put in. But at least it's give it some brain space. And yeah, if they're very quick, specific things, Lucas, you can take it. Like I grabbed the thing about the PQ TLS TLDR fail handshakes. It was like, I've been thinking about that.
do we just want to do that now, like today? Just
Yeah,
I
so
was
someone's got
hoping so.
responsibility. Because, sorry, Dave, go on.
And I'm hoping, Tommy, you might have some more time to help with some of these next year, right?
Oh gosh, yes. But I don't have to like write appeal responses. My gosh. Yeah. So I think we can do that. I'm not going to share my screen right now. Okay, you grab some things. I have a couple things already. So, but greasing at multiple layers. I think that, yeah, this is going into more, are there lower layer things, higher layer things? Dave, is that something maybe you could think about the number 6 that Gory had opened a long, long time ago? And again, like we don't need to necessarily address it, but I feel like this is kind of like taking the broader cross-layer view and kind of saying like, let's think about things other than HTTP and Quick and TLS.
Sure, I will think about this one because he says, do we have thoughts? The answer might turn out to be no, but I will think about it.
Right.
I'm assigning that one to myself.
Thank you.
And I see Martin just added one, and so are you volunteering to take that one, Martin, or is that one you want somebody else?
This is our editorial clubs.
So that one's a little more structural than I think I'm able to deal with.
Yeah. Now, where did this, Lucas? Did this come from your text? I'm about focus on downloads. Might want to add support for uploads.
So I want to make sure I heard Martin correctly. You said you want somebody else to do this one. Is that what you said?
He said it's more structural. Like it's not just like a typo fix. You need to think about it. So Lucas is going to take that.
Okay.
I think that's just a bug in your text. Highlight the greasing. So there's the one we talked about last time. Reserved for greasing. Power seed. I'm happy to take that one that I had opened since I was already thinking about that. That's number 50. So the protocol versions is a bit more of a chunky thing, or if we want to remove it. When we talked about it last time, we were talking about looking at the cost of greasing quick version negotiation. Lucas, do you think there's a there? A there. Sorry, like, do you think there's substance to pull on in the version negotiation aspect? Yeah. Or because it's essentially been a stub section from the beginning. Yeah, it's not. There's not really anything in it.
I can think about this one, but maybe other people, because I won't be thinking about it from a quick specific perspective. I'll be thinking about it from a generic perspective. But version negotiation happens in lots of protocols. I don't know why this one would be quick specific. So
exactly. But like, is it? Like it feels like it's maybe it's edging a little bit out of this. It is potentially changing the scope. I don't know.
What do you mean? I mean, if the protocol version is sorry, I think I might be misunderstanding the intent of it, but I think your issue number 50 that you had is you said it applies when received unknown values are ignored. So greasing a protocol version would only be applicable if the protocol version is ignored, which I don't think would be true in any protocol. So that's why I might be misunderstanding what the point of the 49 title of maybe the main thing to look at is the cost of greasing quick version negotiation. I didn't understand your comment there.
Well, I guess, I mean, I would imagine it'd be like you have a mechanism where you say, I give you a list of the versions I support, and they include greased or garbage values, and just to make sure that if you're picking amongst a list, you can expand the list.
There's a bunch of ways to deal with this, and this, I think, from Dave thinking about it generically, I think there's a number of things you can potentially think about. One is the TLS style of version negotiation, where there's a list of versions that you choose from, and that sort of naturally lends itself towards the style of greasing that you see here. There's the quick style version negotiation where you pick a version and you have a recovery if the version is not supported. Right. So that has performance implications. Greasing has performance implications because if you
are
throw out
spending
a
a round
bogus
trip.
version, you're spending the round trip to do that greasing. So that has an interesting implication. And in terms of like things like data formats where the format has a version indication such that the expectation is if someone doesn't understand the format, they would stop. Then greasing your version negotiation in that circumstance means engaging with whatever higher level mechanisms you have around different formats and whatnot. So are you activating content negotiation in HTTP or something along those lines? And so there is something to say here, but it's going to depend a little bit on context, and you probably need to highlight some of that.
All right, that's very helpful, Martin. I added a comment that in the issue that I tried to summarize the main points there so that I don't forget them, and I'm happy to take this one now that I understand those points.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I'm guessing, based on this, I don't think this needs to be huge. It's just really pointing out that there's a little bit of a special case because version negotiation to a degree is you're bootstrapping. And so sometimes it puts constraints or has performance implications, et cetera.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just about version. I think there's a couple of other cases, like if you're talking about crypto algorithm negotiation, that could be the same issue, right? Of whether you pick one and have to fall back with a recovery mechanism, or whether you say, here's the supported algorithms I support. So it's not just versions. I think it's slightly more generalizable, but I get the point.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Just from experience, we have customers that want to be able to modify their cipher preference lists, and they have good reasons for that. They might have a client that only works for some reason or whatever. But kind of applying variability to your cipher selection list is probably going to create a bunch of security considerations that you didn't anticipate. So maybe we could link it into that as well.
Because I am an author on a protocol that does both version negotiation and cipher suite negotiation. And so I can easily see how this section could apply to, in this case, it would be the TEEP protocol. And so we could say, just abstract from how it applies to TEEP and how it applies to Quick and other protocols in general. So I think it's not just version, but I got enough information that I can do a first pass on this one.
That'd be great, Dave. Thanks.
Looking at the security considerations one, we do have a fair amount of discussion and notes from last time. So I think this is a pretty tractable one. Gory had some suggestions that we've all commented on that. So I'd be happy to take a stab at that, trying to capture what's in the issue here. Love that section. I had a question of summarizing. So that was issue 38. We can just close this if we want to, too, because maybe it's just the point of the whole doc. But this is more like we have some very practical things, and so I don't know. It was like, do we want to highlight them or like just make them very structurally obvious?
I know you did a lot of work on the document to make it more structural, better anyway.
Which I think maybe kind of supersedes that. It's just having the better sections means that your table of contents is clear. So I'm happy to close this then.
We can always reopen when we get
Exactly.
feedback that people say, I can't find it. It's obvious to me.
Yeah, and your point is, depending on the structure of the document, if you have a section about each of these and your table of contents is in fact the list. So
Right, exactly.
I just opened another issue. Sorry. So that example in the introduction talks about upload versus download, but doesn't really contextualize it very much. And it made me think, well, what is it actually that you're trying to say with that example? And I think what it's trying to say is that there is ossification around aspects of protocols that aren't just about code points.
Yes.
It's about the shape of the protocol. And we have a document, I believe, already, the wire image thing that talks about what that means, and referencing that document and saying there are aspects of the wire image of protocols that ossify, and there are techniques that you can use to change that is an interesting approach to talk about. And so concrete example, again, probably drawing on quick, is people ossify around the wire image of quick, even to the point of decrypting the initial packets so that they can look at SNI.
Martin, can you paste in the link to the document you're talking about? I have a vague recollection that in this document it used the term wire image, and I objected to that, and we removed it.
8546.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
8546. And so in some implementations now, we're seeing deliberate attempts made to do things like randomize the order of extensions, to shuffle the things. Even in our implementation, we take the quick initial packet and we cut it in two. And we'll have two initial packets in the same datagram, which is kind of weird.
I've written some unit tests to do that on my implementation.
Right. And it turns out that
I had bugs with it.
We shipped that, right?
So weird. Yeah, sure, fine.
Right. And so we deploy that to the internet, and we do that deliberately to ensure that we are protecting our ability to change things that are other than the frame layouts and whatnot.
And curl does it by doing a teeny tiny initial packet and then just zeros garbage.
Yeah. Guess where we cut ours? Right in the middle of the SNI. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I heard about this last time.
Yeah. Lars was quite happy with that. I think, oops.
That's a
Yeah.
very nice.
And we send the second one first.
So you have to look at the packet numbers.
No, the reason we do that is if anyone's on the network looking to use SNI inspection to do blocking, they have to be stateful in order to make sense of the SNI.
They're gonna,
Quick blocking on the
we
rise.
would get like bugs filed by like the carriers of like you're very
Quick blocking on the rise.
No, I shouldn't say too much more than that because we get in trouble, but it's fun.
Yeah, it is. That's funny. So as I noted in your issue here, we have a section for this that should also be expanded. So I think these other examples go there.
I think you have a national home for it already.
Yeah.
There is another thing that I didn't put in the issue. It might be worth noting just now. Some of those variations in wire image come at a cost in performance. So it's worth noting those sorts of things. So some of them mean delays. Some of them mean extra packets or extra bytes on the wire, and those sorts of things. But sometimes it's worth
processing and creating them. It's awkward to.
It's a little awkward to do it. We spend a little bit more time doing that sort of thing. Right. So understanding, how much you're willing to spend in order to protect your ability to make changes in the future is an interesting balance to strike, and just acknowledging the fact that that's the case is worthwhile.
Someone want to take that issue? Dave or Lucas? Oh. Okay, we only have a couple non-assigned what's now. Thank you for grabbing things.
Yeah, I think Lucas grabbed tons long ago, and I'm wondering if you want to, Lucas, if you want to offload any of those.
Specifically, is that issue 53, you saying? Or?
Yeah, and you just grabbed a bunch. Right
Yeah, I did, yes.
Awesome. I can grab the one I had filed 21.
I don't understand 53 enough to take a first cut at it. So I'd either need a bunch more discussion or take some other ones.
You don't know which one? Sorry?
I don't have a good enough idea of what to do about 53. So I'd rather leave that one for somebody else and take some other ones, even if I'm taking ones off of Lucas's plate. So
I don't think I can get to this one by the end of this year.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
How about I'll assign both of us.
Okay.
We'll just do it later.
Can you? Oh, yeah.
We
But I'm
can
happy
make
to take some of the other ones, even if they're assigned to you, Lucas, if you want to give them, if I do understand them. So I was just looking at one or two of the other ones.
I find it a lot easier to review than write. Like
Yeah.
I can do it when
Okay.
I'm walking the dog, like and stuff. Whereas the writing needs me to clear like spaces.
You need to clear the brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I can't do anything. I just know.
I get it.
I know I commit limits now.
So I was just looking at issue 21, which was which I thought we had some text for now. So I was wondering if this one is already done or if it's
Is
still
this
open.
superseded? Okay.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to find in the doc. I thought we added something.
Okay.
I
Well,
have
maybe
a
it
vague
doesn't.
recollection of me doing something, but I don't know if it fully does this. So that's what I'm trying to look up.
Yeah, we might actually. Yeah, because we're talking about middle boxes a couple places.
Yeah, in the discouraging ossification, second paragraph of 3.1, we have a change there. I don't know whether it's sufficient to close this issue because I wasn't going to open this issue, but that's where we talk about, a sender can log and report ossification issues in a given path when falling back. A receiver can log and report communication. And so I'm wondering if that's sufficient to close 21 since you filed.
Yeah, I think that makes sense actually. Yeah. We should have noticed that in our review. Okay, that's fine.
So then, if I'm just going to
So-
attach into there what the issue, it should be covered by. So I see that.
Yeah,
But
I put that there.
I'm going to log in there what the pull request was that covered.
That would be great if you have that. Wonderful. So then otherwise we have SIP and RTP things. Fluffy had mentioned that a while ago. I mean, I don't have the know-how. I mean, I look at SIP and I'm like, it's kind of like HTTP, right?
Yeah, I propose we don't do anything about this one. In other words, we'd only do something, in my opinion, if there are new learnings in examples that don't appear in any of the examples we have right now. And we took that approach in some of the other IAB documents. It says people suggest, oh, here's a bunch of other examples. Well, great, but unless it makes a new technical point, then we don't need to have it every example. Now, I guess what somebody could do is look in Colin's post to say, is there any new technical points in there? And if there are, then we could rename the thing about the technical points rather than the SIP and RTP.
Exactly, that makes sense. Okay. Then there's only issue 5, which I don't really
Just a second, before you move off of 19, what do you want to do about that one? Because it would probably be a good idea for somebody to do that. And if nobody else does, I'll assign it to myself. I'll look at Colin's post and then close it if I don't see anything new. So.
Oh, I see.
Right now, it's not assigned to anybody. That's what I'm asking.
Right.
All right. No objections. I'm assigning it to
It's
myself.
more of a historical thing about like the ordering of headers.
Yeah.
It's
I assign it to myself.
more examples back. Yeah.
But if somebody else has an opinion of something that he pointed out that's not already in the draft, let me know. But otherwise, I'll take a look. And if I don't see anything, then I will propose closing.
Okay, that's fine. I feel like these are covered, and if we give the examples, they are just ways to say like, yes, this really does happen in other protocols too. But
I think there's some benefit in that, just so it doesn't give the impression that this document is only about one slice of the protocol stack through the IETF. But I could live without it. Unless they're going to add good things, I could live without them too.
Fine. Okay. And then issue 5, I'm not parsing.
Sorry, for Dave's benefit, I commented on that. RFC 9287 is probably the only piece of quick that sticks out that we're greasing. So it's
the quick bit.
The quick bit.
That's literally the only.
That is literally the only. Well, there are other pieces sticking out, but we tend to use those. The packet size and things like that. But
Sure.
yeah,
Okay, so this is really just like point.
so I would just through the other issues that you're solving, mention the quick bit thing because it's an interesting one, and so sort of move on.
Okay.
Quick bit's interesting in that it has it serves a purpose. So not always, right? So sometimes it could.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to update the title of it, add a reference here. I can do that. Okay.
And the other thing is, I don't think this needs to be a comprehensive survey of the things that
No.
Quick does in terms of greasing. It's just, are there novel techniques in there? And there are a couple.
Yeah,
and
this one's interesting.
It's interesting because it engages with something that has a cost.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've triaged the issues. We don't have a fixed timeline, but
Well, I do want to ask, Lucas, you have a large number of issues assigned to you. Is that okay, or are there some you want to unassign to you that you want us to talk about?
I signed those because those seem obvious to me, and obvious even if it's like I obviously don't know how to do this. If you know, so at that point I will come back to you or Tommy and be like, I can't make progress with this one, or I've done the thinking. The comment isn't clear. Let me add some more details about what this might be. Let's get some input. Maybe we can close with no action. What the things I've taken, I believe I will be able to get looked at by the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
I would love this draft to be off my, monkey on my shoulder kind of thing. Like, I like the draft. I want it published. But it's,
wouldn't it be great, Tommy, if this could go to an IAB last call? Well, this term is still in session.
Oh,
I don't know if we can get there, but that would be awesome, right?
yeah, well, that's a good goal. Maybe this is what I'm going to do during my Thanksgiving break.
Yeah. Well, I thought that the term went until March, right?
Yeah, I know, but there's steps to run. We got to get community.
Yeah, but I think you can actually. Does that happen before the IAB review? I can't remember now since I've been off the IAB for long enough.
Yeah, we got to turn the crank a little bit, but
no. There's a community review. Is that before or after you ask for IAB comments?
So normally we do a community review, adopt, community review, approve.
Oh, because this actually isn't even a draft IAB right now.
So that's, I guess, the last logistics thing. Essentially, it's mainly just like doing the adoption comes along with a step of community review. Do we how much do we want
I think you should do that now.
Just say like, here's the version. We have open issues, but we're going to be working on them. But what do you think, people?
We've done that before. It says, okay, the IAB would like to, the program has been working on this document here. We'd like to adopt it as an IAB work item. We'll continue to work on it. We invite the community to comment so that the EDM program can, take community input as we're working on this one. But we believe there's enough in there right now for people to start looking at and commenting on, something like that.
Okay. Jana, could I ask you to kick that off a bit? I mean, just since I'm an author, I don't want to be like, hi, everyone, approve my thing. So
yeah, usually it would come from one of the EDM program chairs.
Which would be, that's why I'm talking to Jana.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying yes. I agree.
So what exactly am I kicking off here?
It's essentially the equivalent of adoption call in Ivy, which is just
Is it an adoption call at this point? I mean, I assume this was adopted.
No,
it's not. That's kind of overdue, right? Ask for permission to go to draft IAB 00.
Exactly. This is still an individual program.
I see. I didn't quite realize that.
Yeah. So
okay.
So essentially,
if you look at the slides from the IAB open meeting about
let's kick off community review on this. Any objections? And
Got
then it would be a message to the architecture discuss list of like, the IB is considering doing this work. Please give us your feedback over the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
So if you
can
look at the slides
take
from the
this offline.
IEB open meeting of what the IEB documents are that they're working on, this isn't on the list.
This is
It's not right.
not on the list. Right. Good point.
Because you put
Yeah,
up
yeah,
to
yeah.
the list. And so this would go
And
on
I
the
want
list
it to be on the list for March.
Yep.
and potentially just be then in approved, like, or in the approved list. But we can,
Hopefully
Well,
by March it will be approved.
it
Yeah.
depends how quickly we
Yeah, I understand.
do our issues.
We can, yeah.
Which
I
is
can
not the
definitely
same thing as saying it's ready for publication, right? It's just adopted as an IEB draft, 00 or 01 or whatever.
No,
It doesn't-
I'm saying we should just
Oh.
try to do the adopted by like in the next month.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending how quickly we turn the issues and we're happy with it, we could just try to run it
Yeah.
out the door too.
But I'm saying don't wait for the adoption call for the issues to be resolved.
it
I
does.
think
Be
it's
allowed
good
to.
enough now to go into the adopted state by IAB. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and then it's a future IB's problem to approve it
Right.
if we don't approve it by March. But that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. All right, I think that's enough for the doc. Can we get some insight from the more quick?
More quick. Yep. So for context, Dave, you weren't here, but there was a side meeting that Lars organized yesterday, and the topic was how more quick. I am quoting, I think. Is that right, Lucas? How more quick? Isn't that a...
It doesn't matter.
Why quick?
why no more quick? But anyway, the point of it was to summarizing what I think the goal was. Lars pointed out that quick traffic, I think on Firefox stats, shows about 30% of requests. Is it requests or bytes? One of those things. But 30%.
So Lars was talking about Cloudflare's request-based metrics, which are about
Cloudflare's
50%.
metrics.
Max also talked about Firefox's statistics that were about connections.
Right. Which were different,
just a
yeah.
cloud.
Yeah. Okay. So it's in that range. It's sub 50%, and it's been there for a little while. And the question is there more quick happening? And if it's not, why not? And how do we perhaps other technical reasons why that's not happening, and then can we go fix those? So I think the most interesting piece of that conversation, I mean, some of it was just, obviously people talking about why not and why should people use quick? There were I'll just say that the general concerns that were raised in the room were around just people not having enough desire to move to quick, website developers, web properties, and then around the resource utilization by quick. That was another point that was raised on the server side in particular. That is a bit of a blocker, but there are lots of reasons why people might not transition to quick, in the same way that a lot of web developers did not transition to HTTP 2, and especially those who haven't moved from HTTP 1 are less inclined to move to HTTP 3. So that's generally understood, I think. But there are some real interesting bits there that we could actually be working on, because those might be causing us. And those are, I think, the more interesting things to talk about, perhaps even here. One of them was, I think, I'm trying to summarize the things that we came out at the end. One was the multi-CDN one. I raised it, so I remember it, around just multi-CDN use, especially with DNS-based load balancing and mismatch of expectations between what browsers do and what server-side multi-CDN deployments do. That's one. What else was there, Lucas? There were a couple of others.
So there was, I don't know about action items, but there was a section as well for folks who are kind of more representative of the kind of middle proxies, enterprise networks, scanners and stuff, and kind of expressing their annoyance, say, that user agents such as Chrome or Firefox don't allow quick in those modes. Whether there's anything we can do, whether the scale of that problem is going to impact why we can't have more quick, I don't know. But I'd say some of the aspects that you didn't get to touch on that I remember were like there's no killer application.
Right.
That it's very hard to measure the performance of improvements or regressions that Quick provides for a use case like HTTP, which kind of works the same way across any version. But of course, we have things like Media over Quick that are in the pipeline that are providing potentially new ways and achieving use cases that are harder to do in other ways. For me, it was a bit like we were focusing too much on HTTP. Yeah. Where can Quick eat market share from extant solutions? One of the examples I gave was Cloudflare's Warp product that was built on WireGuard and was then switched over to Mask. Yeah. It's HTTP, but it's tunneling, it's whatever. But that's a good example. Is Mock going to eat WebRTC? I think that is more an open discussion.
I'd like to watch that show.
And then some of this comes to like the APIs and the incentive for not the server-side deployments or the kind of user agents like a browser, but if you have some piece of software that's not an app, it's just an Electron app, say, that's built and it's an IDE. They don't necessarily care, and they don't know how to pick up Quick. They're not going to go and pick a library, try it out, find it's a bit rubbish, come back, etc.
Yeah, there's just one more thing I'll add, which I pointed out in the session as well, is that it wasn't our goal when we were building Quick to get 100% deployment. So there is no real. Our goal was to get wide enough deployment of the stacks so that we provide degrees of freedom to application developers to be able to deploy new features that they see fit. We've succeeded in doing that. This is why we have Mask and Mock working today as though they can take Quick for granted, rather than sitting back and going, hey, will UDP work over the internet? And so they're not asking that question. I think that is the important shift that's happened. Whether we get, if you put a probe in the network and see it's big enough, the only way you get to 100%, not even 100%, the only way you get to like 60, 70% traffic is by getting, all of YouTube, all of Netflix, all of these massive streamers your way, if you're looking at traffic by bytes. And that's not likely to happen anytime soon. So I don't think that the metric of measuring Quick deployment by bytes or by requests, for that matter, is necessarily important. I think the value of it is to tell us if we are able to move further in technical design space, doing new things over the next 10 years on top of Quick, because we managed to get not just the protocol done, but we managed to get enough deployment of the stack that we can imagine deploying technologies on top of Quick in the real world.
Yeah, and just to add, I've been speaking this week in kind of hallway conversations with folks, and in general, that they're trying to make new application protocols over Quick, right? So I'm like, I don't know why you want to do this, but you can.
You can.
So you've got DNS over Quick.
That's exactly it.
But HB3 offers that capability, but there seems to be people who really want that for the use case. That's not going to be measurable by random people on some vantage point on the internet, because it's more service to service, which is harder to kind of inspect. I had a lunchtime chat with some folks from RegXT who are they want to do EPP over Quick. And again, we're kind of talking about the rationale why. This
is the printer protocol?
No.
Okay.
It's the inter-registrar protocol.
Okay.
And they're on draft 0.2 now, and it's an adopted document there. Within a couple of years, maybe they'll shift all of that traffic over, right? And that would be great. We're not paid on the deployment percentage of Quick, but if they can use it, then it's a success. And part of the reason they can use it is because we've already carved the path through for the UDP support, etc.
That did bring up. Sorry, go on. That did bring up an interesting point, which was the plurality of implementations. While we know this, but while a blessing is also a curse, in that not every implementation is tuned right, is tuned well. We've been hearing this for years, but it is something that we might want to seriously consider as a community, how to like at least advertise the right use cases for the right things. People go using a stack that is not tuned for a particular thing and go, hey, Quick doesn't work well. And it's still upsetting when you see those things. But people pointed out the importance of getting congestion control right. And then Lars and I shared a high five saying, yes, we've been saying this for 25 years. You all noobs to congestion control are just realizing this. But I think that the multitude of Quick stacks it does cause a little bit of friction in this space because everybody has to get this thing right. Everybody has to get a difficult problem right, congestion control, for example, and has to deploy a good performant congestion controller to be compared against TCP or other stacks even. So yeah, it's a bit of an issue.
And kind of related to that, and in the lunch discussion I was having with some folks and in work as well, it seems like there's not a very good explanation, like an intro to Quick streams of like their life cycle. Yeah, we have all of the text, but it's very hard for somebody new into the space to grok what it means. And so the person I was speaking to had built assumptions about how streams work based on the API that the library that they picked gave them. And the library they picked was in Java because that ecosystem's in Java, and it's one of the implementations that maybe isn't that widely used, and made some choices, and the maintainer did it as a pet project and it's gone away. And so it's like, okay, yeah, you're not wrong, but you're off base here, and you're kind of misunderstanding these things. And it's one of the key capabilities of the protocol. So I know we did a technology deep dive a few years ago. I know there's some good literature on Quick handshakes and packet formats and stuff, but it seems we're kind of missing. Yeah, and Brian and Miria did a great job explaining some of this, but it seems like now we're getting more of this experience as something we could do there. I don't think it's EDM needs to do that, but I kind of talked about this in the TSVWG, and I'm trying to collect by osmosis some of this and see if I could frame it, even if it's just a Cloudflare blog post that it ends up as.
Do you know if people teach Quick in university programs? I know that Will Hawkins is doing that, but I don't know how many people do that. Because I was taught sort of the basics of TCP, UDP, that sort of thing when I was at school, and even SCTP at the time, which is.
It's covered.
Yeah.
I've given a lecture in class that I know that covers Quick, but I don't think it goes into the same detail that it goes into TCP, right? It's like, here is this thing.
Yeah, it depends is the short answer. I mean, just literally, Ali Biggin just reached out to me asking for material because he was going to make Quick like an important part of his intro networking graduate course. Similarly, Leisha also is using some material. She is also talking about Quick in her intro networking graduate course. So I think it is definitely present in graduate courses, whether it's being taught as like a, but it's increasing. It's there. I think there's some of there's the thing that people don't have to know it. It's one of those things where you can consider it as an advanced topic in school and like move.
But you have to know of it, I think.
You have to know of it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm sort of suggesting is that when you teach the internet, you sort of teach the basics of things like what it means to talk to other hosts and that sort of thing. And that's typically things like TCP, you connect to another thing. And Quick has that same sort of property, but it's way more powerful. Right. And if people understand that it exists, then that's what changes things.
That's fair. Yeah, that isn't the Stevens book that we can refresh today with Quick in it, which would be nice. Yeah, I mean, Bill Fenner is walking the hallways. We should probably grab him and see if he wants to do a revision. I saw him, yesterday from the plenary. I saw him from the stage. Unless it was his ghost, which I don't know.
No, he was in Interia.
Oh, there you go. So we could do a revision of the Stevens books.
was going to do a screen share of a slide I prepared for a colleague to explain stream states, but I don't have the permissions. Just to give you an example of kind of how I was approaching.
Where did my Medico go?
It's okay if not. I can just show you the people in person, but for the record, it might
Dave
be.
can't see that.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the EDM thing for a second, say that we have
Thank you.
I want to bring it back to the EDM theme, just to see. I don't know if there's, I think it's valuable to think about this as a community, to think about what we could be doing. I don't think there are any big, giant, things that we can go work on. There was an interest in doing a quick M style like thing, like, TCP-M, quick M. Nobody said quick M, I'm saying it.
Yeah.
There are too many M quicks and anyway. My thinking was that quick working was supposed to be that, but I think we may want to bring some of that work into quick, just to see how we can address ongoing issues with the deployment of it.
It kind of worked briefly and then stopped again, so I apologize.
Oh, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah, this is not going to work for the people in the room. No,
Uh-oh.
sorry. Oh, yeah. It's something I might tidy up and just stick on a blog post somewhere.
Cool. All right. I think we're done. I'm going to get some food. Thank you. Good to see you, Dave.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Yep. See you guys.
All right. Take care.